Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to do a breakdown on the trade that I took today that I posted on my Instagram story. If you are watching this and you don't follow me on Instagram, just go check out my page. I post a lot of live trades that I take there and, other things like that. But my Instagram username is TOMMXMYY. So I'll put something on the screen. You'll be able to see it right here. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and start breaking down this trade. So starting off on the daily time frame, just doing um, kind of like a farther uh, outlook, I guess you could call it, is this previous week high right here. If we go up to the weekly, we see that this is the previous week high, and we go down to the daily time frame. What we ended up doing was we swept that and had a nice reaction away from it. And if we take a look into some discount arrays, we have this daily BISI right here that only got a little bit of a touch in it from Friday's candle, but and then the high of it was reached on Monday. But this could act as a nice draw on liquidity if we were looking for shorts. And then we can look at some premium arrays on the lower time frame to look for longs. But that's kind of just a little breakdown on the daily time frame. Let's go and jump down to like a 1 hour time frame here. All right, so taking a look at a 1 hour time frame right here, this is a good time frame to really break things down because I remember at one point in my trading career, whenever we're trading at all-time highs, obviously right now, right? And me, myself included, it can be kind of hard to try and frame shorts off of that to take trades on. I've always felt a little bit skeptical doing that. I hate trying to pick tops and bottoms, but if you start looking at higher time frames, say you're a 1 minute trader, a 5 minute trader, where that's where you're actually taking your executions on. Um, if you start looking at like the 1 hour, 4 hour, and it's starting to combine with arrays on like the daily or weekly time frame, and you start to see that change in the state of delivery on like a 1 hour time frame, that's how you can feel more comfortable taking shorts. Personally, I took a buy today, and that's what we're breaking down right here. But it was actually really great price action where you could have gotten involved in both. So I'll break both sides of the market down here. But if we take a look at Monday's action, we could see that we really got that change in the state of delivery on Monday. So after we swept the previous week high right here, we traded up and then we had a really nice displacement lower. So we have a breaker right here, these three down close candles. You could even say it was this guy right here because this has um, the body is lower than these ones. So really this is your breaker right here. Uh, what I would deem as the change in the state of delivery would be this order block right here. So these three consecutive hourly up close candles. Once we got the displacement through that confirmed by a fair value gap, we got to return back up into it and displacement lower. To me, that was a confirmed change in the state of delivery. And some further conviction I had of that was trading through this hourly BISI right here. And why that one? If you're trying to confirm, or this is what I do at least, if I'm unsure about something that could potentially be an inversion fair value gap, I find them a lot more highly probable or more confidence in them if I see them get used before for the opposite direction, right? So if I'm bearish and back here we see price use this hourly BISI to move higher and create all-time highs, well, if we get displacement through that, that gives me confidence that I can use this as an inversion fair value gap for potential setups down the road. So a lot of different things combined here. And say you got this set up on like a 5 minute time frame or a 1 minute time frame up at all-time highs right here. Well, that's a much lower probability of being correct on your short just because you're working with a much lower time frame. If you're combining, like I said, the daily with the 4 hour or the 1 hour, that's where you can really start finding these longer term retracements rather than some, getting wicked out or faked out on like a 1 or 5 minute time frame. So you want all, or I want all of these things to combine whenever I'm looking for trades. So now that we have this change in the state of delivery right here confirmed on the 1 hour, why would I actually anticipate this to be a change in the state of the delivery? Because we have this daily BIST right down here that we could start testing in um, much further, right? So I would expect the day isn't done yet. It's only 2 o'clock, so we still have a good portion of the day left. But I would expect that going into CPI tomorrow, we should get some movement down here in this daily BIST. But if we go down to like a 15-minute time frame here, we start to see a little bit more detail. And let's start from how we ended Monday. All right, so we traded down, traded back high right here, created this single high, and then traded back down again, teetered off right here. So we open on Tuesday, and again, the way that I always start my trading day, and if you want to see this, live and in action, just watch the previous video where I actually go into the day, um, or I start the video looking at the charts for the first time of the day and really break through and walk through what I'm thinking in the moment and actually take a trade on. But we start on Tuesday here, not really doing a whole lot, and then near, you know, the end of the London kill zone, we start to make a nice steady move higher. Okay. And then you see what I was looking at was this high right here was a little bit too obvious to me. And even though I have a intermediate term bearish bias, so I want to be clear on the higher time frames like the daily and weekly, I'm still very bullish until proven otherwise, and I start to see daily uh, bullish arrays start to get disrespected. But that doesn't mean if I see something like on the 1 hour, we get a change in the state of delivery that we can't see an intermediate term retracement to draw towards those discount daily or weekly arrays. So that's really where this move comes from. Um, but if my intermediate term bias is bearish, well, if we're going to go bearish, what I would expect them to do first is to run highs, reach imbalances before taking it lower. And that's why I was able to look for longs today. Um, Looking at social media, things like Twitter and Instagram, I feel like a lot of people caught this move lower today. I actually caught this move higher that I was really happy with here. But both are great trades and great opportunities. But looking at this 15-minute time frame here, what I ended up seeing was, let's mark out the 9:30 15-minute candle here. And leading up to 9:30, we had this move higher, right? And so I'm really just looking at this range right here from London low up to this high that was made right there. Okay. So them taking it higher, stopping right here, generating relative equal highs is meaningful to me because if I'm anticipating that they're going to take it higher in order to ultimately take it lower, what I'm anticipating is that they're engineering equal highs to anticipate or get retail traders to think, oh, this is some great resistance right here, right? So I'd expect that if we're hitting this resistance point, we should start heading lower. Wrong. I want to see them take out the highs where trailed stops are from this move lower to then take it lower. And how far above can it go from this high? We got to look at the imbalances that are around it, and that's where this obvious 15-minute SIBI comes from. Another confluence that we have with that is if we take a fib from the high to the low right here, and we get our 62% out, our OTE levels, you see that this matches really nice right here. So we go up, hit the high of that 0.79 level, which is the high of the 15-minute SIBI, and then ultimately take it lower. right? So a lot of things are causing me to think that it could start to draw up into this level and then potentially reverse. So when I was looking at the charts, at the time I was looking at, I wanted to see this move right here, which is what we got. And a lot of profiles, like session profiles match with it too, which I'll touch on a little bit here. But as far as now that I have determined where I want to see price draw to, right here and right here, I want to start to see some bullish PD arrays get respected. So if we take a look on this move higher right here within this range, we've got a BISI right here, right? But what I was really looking at was this right here. Now this 15-minute order block, and the reason it's an order block is it's combined with this fair value gap right here on the 15-minute time frame, is this is an important level for me, especially because there's a swing low right here. If I take a fib from this swing low up until this high, I have another confluence. I have OTE levels right here. If I take a look at along the move higher from right here, we have multiple swing lows right there and right there. So now I have 4 different things that are telling me this is going to be a good area. I have liquidity, I have OTE levels on a retracement, I have a fair value gap right here, and I have this order block right here. So when I have 4 different things that are all telling me that this is an important area and I'm looking for longs, it makes sense for price to want to go higher in order to go lower because we determined that we're on an intermediate term retracement here on the hourly. Now all of a sudden I can start looking for longs from this area on like the 5 minute or the 1 minute. In this case for me it was the 5 minute. But what's going to make it really top-notch trading in my book, or a top-notch opportunity, is when you combine it with session profiles. And so let me break down on what I mean by that here. Let's jump down to a 5 minute time frame where I actually took my entry on for that time frame here. And before we actually do that, another important factor that I want to mention that I almost forgot is we had SMT here at these lows. So if I pull up a chart of ES, take a look at these lows right here and these lows right here. So people are probably thinking, and maybe you were thinking too, that all of this is very smooth right here. I want to see it get run on. I would agree, but there's a time in which that would occur. And other things need to happen before that actually happens. Meaning I wanted to see this happen before we run on this, which is happening right now. But another factor for me to anticipate higher prices at first in the morning was because of this divergence right here between the two. That doesn't mean that we should expect price to continue higher all day because you got a convergence, but I would expect price to continue for a portion of the day based on seeing something like this here. So now let's jump down into the 5 minute time frame here and really break that down. So now we're on the 5 minute time frame here, and this gray box is that 15-minute order block that we were just looking at right here. And now we're seeing a little bit more data. So you see from this primary buy side liquidity level, we went higher. We kept taking highs like right here. So we just are constantly taking buy side liquidity right here, and up at the high right here. And then we had an aggressive move lower. And honestly, if I'm bullish and I have an area that I think it's reasonable for price to go to, what I like to see is a sharp move lower because that's going to really entice people to think that the market is shifting. It's going lower, especially like we talked about with retail thinking that we're at a resistance level. They want to see price move lower. This is ideal for me, especially when it's moving aggressively lower into that area of interest that I had right here. So if we take out that OTE fib again from the high or from the low to the high right there, again, these areas are aligning. Now, the fib by itself really means nothing. like ICT always says, but what I like is that it's giving me a nice area of discount for me to get involved in when it's combined with the other things that we've already mentioned. So we're taking out these swing lows along the way right here. And this is prior to 930. Remember, 930 is right here and delineated by this vertical line. Okay, so I'm going to take off the OTE level just because we already confirmed that this is an area of interest because of that. So I'm going to take that off. But now what we've got is these equal highs right here and right here. Whenever I see something like this high resting below a primary buy side liquidity pool, I do not want to see it just tag this high and then kind of hang out around here. What I want to see is a really aggressive move above that because people are going to be trailing their stops. If they're short, maybe they want to, and they have their stop loss above here. Well, when they see price start to make their way towards that, potentially they're going to want to try and move their stop to the safer resistance level, which would be above here, right? But in most cases, the algorithm is not going to want to allow them to protect their position like that, and so they're going to aggressively run it right there. But besides the point, what we see prior to 930 right here is we reach into this level. This could be a buy right here. Honestly, I didn't take this buy because it was prior to 930, a good amount of time prior to it, like a half hour. So I wanted to wait to see what the opening range was going to give. But we went down to this area and then we started to have that move higher right here. If we take a look here, we have a few different things. We have a 5-minute BISI right there. We have an order block, these two consecutive down close candles. We have a breaker, this up close candle right here, and we have an inversion fair value gap right here. Right? So we have multiple different things all aligning after a test of this area right here. So sometimes I'll take this trade if it goes right into an area like this right here, if it looks much cleaner on the 5-minute time frame. To me, it didn't look clean enough on the 5-minute time frame, so I wanted price to prove to me that it was going to go higher right here and show me some bullish signatures. This is that bullish signature that I was looking for right here. This is pretty much like a classic uh, market structure shift 2022 model right here on the 5-minute time frame. Now, if we start to combine it with profiles right here, this is how you really supercharge, or this is how I supercharge my trading and my setups here. I always anticipate a 9:30 to 10 a.m. Judas swing and then a 10 a.m. reversal. So if we delineate 10 a.m. right here, this is 10 a.m. And not long after that, around 10:15, we made the high of the day right here. Okay, so at some point at 10, a little bit before 10, or a little bit after 10, I want to see a 10 a.m. reversal profile occur. I don't have to only trade that reversal profile. If I'm anticipating a Judas swing from 9:30 to around 10 a.m., and the setup and the technicals say that it's good, I can be a part of that Judas swing that's higher. This is how I was able to be a part of that Judas swing that was higher. If we go to our regular trading hours right here, we see that there was a premium gap higher. So we open and we dig a little bit lower into those arrays that I had marked out right here. If we take another fib from this low to this high right here, what else is in combination with these levels? OTE. So again, 4 things right here. Inversion, order block, breaker, fair value gap, and now OTE. So really 5 things after seeing this play out from this 15-minute order block right here. So a lot of things going my way at this point. Targeting equal highs right here and having that idea of a 9:30 a.m. Judas swing to a 10 a.m. reversal. So entering right here, and you see price went higher, stabbed into that 15-minute SIBI, had a big rejection lower, and then one more stab higher before really taking it on the real move lower right there. But this is where I took my trade right here. and I took that trade to target that liquidity. If I go over to my top step here, you can see I took the trade right here. I actually got a really bad fill. I did a market execution, so I didn't set a limit right here. I did market execution. Um, and once I saw this go lower, but there's a really quick pop higher from this level, and so as I was seeing that, I clicked the buy button, and I got filled like right here at this level. So I would have liked to have been filled right around this order block. I think that would have been optimal, like my optimal entry. But yeah, I was a little bit late there. My stop loss was below the order block right here, and my take profit was at 54975. If we take a look right here, 54975 is that primary buy side liquidity pool. And then it ended up going a little bit higher right there, but I was okay with the low hanging fruit threshold. So that really breaks down the trade right there. I hope that made sense as to why I was looking for a position right there to go long. And I saw a lot of great shorts from people on social media today taking it lower. And so at this point, I had turned off the charts and was done looking at them because I wanted to prevent over trading and I just wanted to take my profits. And one thing that I've personally been going through, and I think I mentioned it in the last video, is buying in too high of a premium because I think when I'm long or wanting to go long, and I think it's because I've been experiencing a little bit of impatience with trades, um, and adding this level of uh, expecting OTE or wanting my trades to align with OTE has been a really, really nice way of being more patient and getting in at a discount when I'm looking to go long, and really at an optimal level. I've got an example of ES pulled up here from yesterday and another trade I took. The reason why I love this type of setup so much, and really this bullish or bearish pattern that I pretty much rely on, is like my bread and butter for my trading now, is it combines so many things that you learn with ICT all into one. It forces you to be patient, and it's really setting you up to take the best optimal entry, because there's so many things that are in your favor. For example, if I pull up my some of my ICT notes here, this is straight up from his lecture. What you've got is, and the reason why it's so powerful is because you get a nice displacement and price higher, and it generates a low right here that fails to reach your fair value gap or your order block. And so this is generating liquidity. It's taking buy side first right here to entice breakout buyers, and then stops or trail below here. And then you get a really aggressive move below here into these levels. So it's taking this liquidity into fair value gap, order block, and then when it's in alignment and overlaps with the 62, 70.5, or 79% retracement level, your optimal trade entry, it can give you a really nice low resistance liquidity move higher. And that's the example that I took today that we just went over. It's in this example right here. All right, if you take a look at it, we've got fair value gap right here. We've got order block right here. And we've got sell stops resting above right here. Um, I put a limit at the order block right here yesterday, and then it went higher, created equal highs, and then it stabs lower one more time. But then you have a nice low resistance liquidity move right there. And of course, these are your OTE levels. So it's just a really nice way that makes you be patient, waits for liquidity, waits for a deeper, retracement. It's all of these different things. And this isn't me saying it works every time, right? I took the same trade up here, like at this order block right here, at 9:30 when we got a move down right here. I entered on this down move into this order block and sweeping this liquidity, and I ended up getting stopped out, right? So it's not something that works every single time. You know, you need to be right about your direction, obviously, but that comes with um, knowing where price is drawing to on a higher time frame level, and then, like I mentioned before, combining it with session profiles. My session profile right here was a lunchtime retracement, right? Because we had been going down lower all day, and we made our bullish pattern right here. Well, I want to see trailed stops from people who have been profitable selling get run on and then move it lower, right? And so those trailed stops are going to be above this high, and then when this high generated equal highs, and that came from this low resistance liquidity run right there. So it's a great thing. I'll where where I got the this picture right here, this screenshot where I took my notes from. I'll I'll put the link to ICT's video and where he goes over that in the description. And I would suggest doing some back testing with it. I did a couple hours of back testing with it over the weekend, and it's not changing any type of strategy, right? I've been trading ICT for 2 years. I've been trading a total of 4 years, but those 2 years of ICT, I've been trading fair value gaps and order blocks, and looking for liquidity and things like that. So it's not changing anything, but what it's doing is it's combining everything into one and forcing me to be patient when I feel like recently I haven't been patient enough, or confidence has been a little bit low, because market conditions have been a little bit tough. But it's been a great way to kind of align me again and you know give me some better direction. So I hope that helped. I hope you found the breakdown insightful. I hope it made sense. But plan on doing more of these again as always. And so hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Good trading. Good luck. Talk to you soon.